All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. And today I am joined by Jurnon. Am I saying that right?
Yes,
Jurnon
perfect.
from the Splintermate team. Now, Splintermate is another botting service here within the community, and I wanted to have you on to talk through this and just more so learn for myself what the appeal is, what your goals are. But before we even get into that, first of all, welcome to the channel. And if you
Okay.
could introduce yourself and just talk about your journey with maybe Play to Earn and specifically Splinterlands.
Okay. So yeah, I'm Jurnon. I'm one of the members of Splintermate team. We are three people currently. Dij, his name is very hard. Is our sole developer, and me and my colleague El are handling all the other stuff.
Okay.
So this is how the responsibilities go, I guess. Okay, so how did Splinterlands come to life? So in general, from my perspective, I have found Splintermate. I think it will be in a few days, a year back. Was just
Hmm.
looking for a crypto game. I have other, let's say, projects in crypto. So was just interested in play to earn. So wanted to play something. This the idea of earning while playing always interested me.
Hmm.
Seemed like a perfect solution because nowadays I managed to play games, for a few hours, and after that, I asked myself, "What's the point?" And
Yeah.
no point, and that's the end of the game. So, and I
Yeah.
thought that if I can play a game which is, let's say, developed and fun for me to play, and then I asked myself, I would be able to say, okay, there is some ROI on that, return on investment or something like that. I would
Hmm.
prolong that. So, in part, it was true, the idea of play to earn, but later on, I understood one thing is that since a lot of money is involved, since you are how to say feeling attached to the to play daily and so on and so on to generate the revenue,
Hmm.
it started to feel like work, I guess, or
Mm,
not
yeah.
work, but in general you are feeling that I do not want to play because I want to play, but I need to play, so
Hmm.
that did not so I understood that play to earn by itself, at least for me, it seems that no, that won't solve the problem of having fun with games. So that's, I guess, the Splinterlands background. And if going a little bit back, I'm always interested in the economics of the games. And
Interesting.
maybe,
Okay.
yeah, maybe not, I don't know, exploiting is a hard term. Never crossing the boundary of doing something bad for other players. But if there is auction house, I'm interested how I can buy everything or whatever it
Hmm.
is. So just these kind of things, and the games vary from all kind of things actually, and the process of figuring out how it works and how to, let's say, find an edge is what drives me.
Hmm.
So in Splinter Labs this is the same, I guess. So that's, I guess, a few words about that.
Fair enough. Okay. So you've been in Splinterlands, it sounds like, for a year. Did you
Yeah.
come in before like the big boom before Untamed and Dice sold out
uh,
last year?
It was not sold out when I came out,
Oh
if
wow.
I
Okay.
recall
So
correctly. Yeah, but I was not willing to invest
at
at
the
that
time.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it just seemed that I'm not the guy who really likes to pay a lot for games. And here, one card, €5, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So was very weird, and I was like, "Oh, that's weird." But okay, let's try it. Let's play. Let's
Hmm.
see what it goes. And then later on, I thought, okay, this seems like something I can, put more time in, more attention to, and so on. So with that came and the money commitment, so to speak.
Okay. So because you've actually been in the space longer than me, so I'm actually curious to get your perspective now. We're a year later,
Mhm.
and you're starting Splintermate. This is something recent, or am I just
Uh,
finding out about it recently?
I don't want to lie that I know when it started. Let's
Hmm.
say the first lines they're written in code.
Hmm.
But me and Deej met like what's that, 8 months ago, and he
Oh, eight
was
months ago. Okay.
almost having the final working, not final, but first working product, let's say. So that
Fascinating.
was,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
So
and
8 months ago was last year, right? So
yeah,
like
it
November,
it was,
December.
yeah, something like that. Even I would say late October. This would be my
Wow.
guess.
Okay.
Yeah. So and I was the only tester and slash client of his, uh,
Okay.
and due to a lot of random conversations about how what should be done with the botting service, what should be what's good, what's bad, what's working, what's not working. Later on, we I guess came to a point. Okay, it's good enough. Why should not we share it with more people?
Interesting.
So
Okay, so you were
mm,
you were just using this separately then,
yeah, I was the
or
only client.
privately. Okay.
Yeah, I was the sole client of it for like, yeah, since the moment it was available. So it
Now,
was like.
why
Mhm.
did it take so long for Deej to, or for you to think like this is something we want to share with other people?
I guess we have a lot of real life non-crypto commitments, so
Hmm.
we have to agree on carving out the extra hours we have and
Fair.
dedicating it to here.
Okay.
So until all the pieces fell in place, we, let's say, not moved with that. But okay, now we see we have the time. It's possible to make it happen, and the product itself, how we envision it, is there. Now we need
Hmm.
to iterate, modify, but there is not much to be made. So it's
Hmm.
just that not sure how to say it in English, but iterating, let's say.
Sure. Okay. Like it's you're out of beta or something like that, right? The product is ready to go. Is that what you're trying to say?
I mean, the product is now ready completely,
Hmm.
completely for users. That's why we are talking about that. That's why I bring in people in onboarding and so on. It's completely good to sell, good
Okay.
to attract people, but and there is not a functionality which we think is like something we are missing. We were missing rental
Hmm.
solution. We have it now. That was we thought that without it, you do not have anything to sell
Yeah.
to a general public, I guess. So after that, after it was made, it was like, okay, this is okay. Of course, there was a lot of testing, blah blah blah. So it took a while, but now it's ready. It's ready to go. So now we
Okay.
iterate, modify, but not put a lot of new functionalities on top.
Okay. So I want to ask this, but then we'll get into more about
Mhm.
Splintermate specifically. But um, so over the past year, when you first came into the game, you were
Yeah.
saying that $5 for a card is expensive. I don't want to spend a lot of money in a game, and now here you are essentially building a business around Splinterlands, right? Building a service, a third party service. So
Yeah.
would that does that mean that over the past year you've been convinced of the success of the game or the future of the game, and now you're willing to put maybe not money, but like at least time and energy to build out this service? Like you
Mhm.
said, I'm sure that you have other non-crypto commitments, so now you're putting in a lot of time for this. You're obviously taking the time to speak with me, which I appreciate. But like has your opinion of Splinterlands changed since that first time, and how has it changed over the last 12 months?
uh you won't get an answer you would like from me regarding this, because I think that Splinterlands as a
Hmm.
game itself is quite an interesting adventure to play from time to time, and the perspective of but I guess the huge crypto boom itself,
Hmm.
the last, let's say, what, before 4 months ago and so on, yeah, when we had the huge boom of crypto,
Yeah.
it really did not help Split the Lands at all. because now I see we are having, a lot of issues with overproduction of cards and so on. And
Okay.
in my opinion, this is in at least in the short term quite a bad thing to have. Looking at the potential of the game, I still think it's the best game in crypto. So that's that's one thing to let's say to that's a huge competitive advantage for them. They
Sure.
have the users, they have the game, they have the third party solutions and so on and so on. So it seems like a good way to go. But since this is related very very heavily to crypto markets, and I cannot say that I would be willing to go all in with this.
Sure.
So as a
Yeah.
part-time, as a few, let's say, as a some kind of investment, this seems completely fine for me as a diversification, and with huge potential upswing. But if we are saying that, okay, if someone would say bet 10,000 on Splinterlands in 2 years being successful game, I would not do it. So
Interesting. Okay.
yeah, because I really think that they were in very very good way before they estimated the amount of cards they need according to the huge boom they had, and the insane amount of decks, not decks, cards we have supply.
Sure. Yeah.
That supply is causing quite a lot of bad things, in my opinion.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, there's no wrong answers here. I'm just trying to get understand your opinion. So whether I like it or not, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm usually just trying to understand the different perspectives here. But I
I'm
appreciate
not
that.
I'm not a huge fanboy, that's for
Hmm.
sure. But I played myself. I invested with a key idea of, okay, let's build a gold level deck.
Hmm.
So okay, fine, let's do it. So that cost way much more than I thought, but okay,
Yeah.
the heck with it. So and it's fun for me to play it, but yeah, I see some risks, especially in the relation to crypto market. So
Okay. That's fair. Well, so what's interesting about this, and now we'll get into kind of just especially what you were talking about with the big boom that happened last year.
yeah.
I think many people look at that big boom that happened and feel as though a lot of that new player growth was essentially fake because it was bots instead of real people. And so, I mean, as it is, our conversation when I put this out, it's already going to be bots are a very hot topic in the community. So
I know,
I'm expecting the comments section to be very fun.
but
But go
can
ahead,
I?
please. Yeah, yeah,
I mean, you can expect that. Then the return on investment is so insane during those times. Uh, there is no way you can stop the flow of people seeing like, okay, I need to complete 5 daily quests to get my account investment back, or something
hmm
like that. It was very fun times
it was.
during those times, yeah.
Yeah.
But of course it couldn't last
hmm
that long, so it did not last that long. But while it lasted, it was really fun. So yeah.
I mean, I agree. It was kind of insane to be earning that much, whether you were playing the game and even though I don't have any experience with it, I'm sure botting with the game too was very lucrative at that time.
Yes.
So, well, it's funny because you make that face, right? So, my question for you then is, there's a lot of pushback from the community about botting. Now, you guys are very much within terms of service, so
Mhm.
and the team has been very clear about being bot neutral, right? So, I'm not trying to frame this in a way where you are doing something that you shouldn't be doing. But I wonder how do you navigate like the way that the community sentiment is towards, and then how do you see also the team and what they've been doing, like where they updated the rank rewards, so now you need to have there's no more starter cards,
Mhm.
and now there's talk about the SPS rewards coming in, things like that. Like how are you viewing this from a botting service perspective? Like, do you feel like you're always going to be fighting with the community and fighting with the team, or is there some place in which the community everybody reaches a happy medium?
There is no fighting here. So just to clarify that one, I mean, from my perspective,
Hmm.
the Splinterlands developers, regarding the voting, they're doing what they need to do. They are trying to solve the problem by not going white or black. If you are going the change terms of service, say voting is bannable, you can do that. Well, it's up to them, there will be a lot of angry people, but that doesn't matter. We would stop our service, and that would be it. But from the perspective of them managing this, that people would not bot on the network, is pretty much impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Any game, at least I know, which is worth, which can generate some kind of revenue, is bottable. It doesn't matter what the stance is from the developers. So and it just takes huge amount of administrative work from their side to
Yeah.
do it good, or they don't do it good, and then people are unhappy because botters are all around the place, and they are not eligible. But the Splinterlands approach, that let's make incentives for people to invest more in the game, and so on and so on. These are very good things from my perspective. They are making our job, more challenging. And that means that for the bot to generate ROI, he has to play better. He has to know how to generate the necessary resources better, how to manage the resource better, and so on and so on. But this is the key aspect in here. Neither me, neither other guys in the team are here for purely make $1 per account or whatever it is. No.
Mm-hmm.
The key aspect here is that the problem itself is hard to solve, and each update it makes it harder. So it's interesting to solve it. It's
Okay.
programmatically it's hard. You have to have the logic in place. It's hard, and each of these obstacles is, from our perspective, it's good, because we have yet to see a hurdle we could not pass.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, each update means that some of the botting solutions are, let's say, are being left behind.
Mm-hmm.
So this is fine for us, and it's interesting. So that's the key part, because when it becomes uninteresting, we won't do it. So yeah.
And that's actually a very fascinating perspective. I mean, you guys, so in a sense, you and I'm sure other services similar are solving a problem or a need within the community,
Yes.
because people want to be able to either automate their account or accounts, right? Like
Yeah.
there's clearly, I guess what I'm trying to say is there's clearly an appetite for this, and there's clearly
Yes.
a demand for it. And so whether people within the community agree or disagree, the demand is there. Now the thing is, like you said, with the terms of service, I don't think the team is ever going to say, they're ever going to ban bots. It doesn't seem like something that they would want to do, just based on how they're trying to design the game. So ultimately, where they're going with this is trying to make it in a way more difficult for botting services to gain so many of the rewards. So do you feel like, it's fun to do the challenges now, but do you ever see a point in which, again, the team won't necessarily ban bots, but they make it very difficult, like they make a problem that becomes impossible to solve? Or is this always something that'll be like a moving target that you're anticipating?
I would say that from a perspective of just being impossible to bot just by the environment, I would say
Mm-hmm.
it's impossible. But there are botting. If you're looking at I want to bot with my alt account, then there is no thought about return on investment, or getting your money in some kind of meaningful time. But
Mm-hmm.
if developers manage to put so many hurdles from a perspective of assets to the botting accounts, so then it is a possibility that it won't be worthwhile. So if I have to invest 100 euros or dollars to make one bot account, which will make me
Mm-hmm.
$1 per month, that's not worth it.
Yeah.
That's very shitty ROI. So in general, by doing these kind of changes, they can of course prevent botting, not completely, but
Mm-hmm.
let's say the business side of botting can be nullified to almost to extremes. But how to handle that, and not cause damage to a normal player, to a
Mm-hmm.
starting player, and so on. This is a very, 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 very hard problem from their side.
Gotcha. Okay. No, that makes sense. Do you ever think about like the game economy, and a lot of the data that's coming out now is a lot of accounts that are farming these rewards, and people they'll talk about like the farming of rewards and say that there's definitely cons but also benefits to it, right? There's cheaper cards on the market for botting services, kind of farming these cards. But do you ever think about the implications of like damaging the economy of the game so much that the game fails, right? Because like right now it's nice to be able to get something from it, but I would make the assumption that you would want this to go on forever, right? Rather than sucking it dry and moving on to the next thing. If it's working good,
Of course.
would there be like a sustainable thing where you can rely on income from this for the next, I don't know, X amount of years? Do you get what I'm saying? And maybe there's no right answer to that, right? Maybe you got to squeeze as much juice as possible right now. But how do you
I
think through that, or
wouldn't
do you
look.
think through that?
Yeah, I wouldn't look at this. I look at it from a little bit different point of view. I look at that if there is money to be made, most likely botting will happen in general. This is how I see it.
Yeah.
If not our solution, our solution. If not our solution, another solution, and so on. It doesn't matter. And
Hmm.
someone will have a free time to make a bot and make it, worthwhile and make the necessary investment, and will do the farming, so to speak.
Hmm.
So from that point of view, I'm not I would not be expecting, especially in the current bear market of crypto, that we would be, causing with our solution extra botting accounts appearing. Uh, I think that what we are trying to do here is that we are just trying to give a very simple solution to use for one bot, for 10 bots, doesn't matter in general, and that people would be able to have this very friendly, very simple to use solution to have their, let's say, assets generating positive cash flows.
Hmm.
So from that perspective, is that okay? There are many solutions in place. They are on different kind of level of what's the word? Sorry, forgot.
Maturity.
Yeah, let's say there are different solutions in the
Hmm.
market, and they tend to different people or different aspects of the game. But in general, I guess our approach is that okay, this is a cloud-based solution. You do not need to input anything to your computer, so you can just provide the necessary information and start the botting experience. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But in general, you have zero risk pretty much using our service.
Hmm.
The new guy coming to botting, how to say, getting the botting idea and trying to use a bot, maybe he might download something, something
Hmm.
interesting to his computer. Crypto is a wild space, you know that. So from that perspective, I guess we are just there is a need and there are solutions. We just say, okay, look, we can make it better, we can make it simpler, and we can make it easier. So let's give people this one, and they will. And I'm not currently, yeah, currently I would not invest in bot accounts myself.
Okay.
With let's say, I would not say, okay, let's buy for
Really?
$7,
Okay.
okay, because
Hmm.
the ROI is not good, you
Sure.
know.
Okay. You're talking about
So
adding like additional instead of like
yeah,
botting your main
yeah.
accounts. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess the idea is that okay, there is plenty of now people who are thinking, interested in that. Let's give them the simplest solution possible. But I will not expect us to provide such a solution that person from outside of Splinterlands would say, okay, I can do through their solution 10,000 botting accounts. No,
Hmm.
the ROI is just not there.
Interesting. Okay. So, well, let's actually go into Splintermate now because you started talking about some of the features that you offer.
Mhm.
But before we do that, I do want to agree with you that if money's involved, I think there will always be someone trying to automate a way to extract, right, or to get it. So whether it's you, whether it's another service that pops up, I think it's kind of like a whack-a-mole, and this is why the team has been very clear about the fact that we're not going to try and just shut things down. We'd rather create an economy that's sustainable and makes sense, and
Yes.
can be inclusive of experiences, whether it's a player or a bot. So uh, if you want to talk about Splintermate specifically now, I did. So I did get to try it a little bit. I just threw it on an alt account. To your credit, it was, or to your point, it's pretty simple. All I had to do was enter in the posting key, and I could have entered in the active key to do some other things. But for me, I was just curious to see what the bot, how the bot would perform, how things would look. But if you could give people a little bit of a deeper dive into maybe some of the logic behind what you're doing, what some of the features are, some of the benefits, because like I said, I know some people are going to absolutely hate this, but there are going to be some people who are interested, and so
Mhm.
I want to make sure that again, the point of this channel is just to kind of promote discussion. I appreciate you being very upfront about your opinion, because that I think is important for people to see. And again, I will remind folks who get angry, like, this is not against terms of service, and the way that the economy is designed is to encourage asset ownership. So
But
if
I can understand the people who get angry.
Mhm.
If I care about something and I think that that something is being harmed by other people, I would get angry. This is completely fine. I myself am invested in Splinterlands quite heavily currently,
Mhm.
and but I do not see a botting as a problem. Maybe it's rose tinted glasses or something here, but I never looked at it that okay, this is a huge problem which we have. It was never. I never understood that. Oh, I played against bot.
Mhm.
I don't know. I play, and I don't even look who I play against. I mean, I don't check is it a bot or not. So from
Yeah.
my perspective, it's. I guess it's a little bit different, but maybe I'm just trying to. What's
Like
the
rationalize.
rationalize
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
okay. Look, to be clear, like, you obviously have a bias, so it's and
Yeah.
that's fine. But I think what's important here is the fact that, like, it's hard to determine, just what kind of impact things are or are not making. And sure, people are going to present data, and I understand that, and I like you, I understand the argument against bots, and to a certain extent I worry about the economy, right? So just to be honest with you, like, I worry about the economy, not necessarily from an economic standpoint, because in a way, I was going to say this for the end, but in a way, are you familiar with, like, a lot of, like, crypto and
To some
DeFi
extent.
protocols to some extent? Like, I almost look at it as like yield farming now, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like people can come in and they can choose to invest X amount, knowing that they can get X amount back using services like these to automate. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I wonder, or worry slash wonder, if that's the direction that Splinterlands is planning to go from a ranked battle perspective. And it's a reason why I remain bullish on, like, tournaments and competitions and things in the future, because that'll promote the PvP, or human versus human kind of element to it, especially if they do KYC or in-person types of events.
Mhm.
And I feel like the monies will eventually flow there. But from, like, a ranked battle, yield farming, however it's approached in the future, it doesn't seem like bots are ever going to be banned. So it's almost one of those things that I've heard multiple people say to me now, right? Like, okay, well, if you can't beat them, join them, right? So now people are interested to find out, well, how is everybody else earning so much from this? But again, I'm digressing a little bit here. I wanted to give you a chance to talk a little bit about Splintermate and the services that you're offering and providing.
Okay, so I don't know. Do we share, some kind of screen, or I just talk
If you have
uh,
something you want to
out
share,
of?
you can, or if you want to start talking about it, I can just pull up the website on the back end
Yeah,
if you
yeah, if you
want.
can just the website,
Sure.
to
Okay.
maybe
Yeah. So go ahead and
to
start talking. Let me pull up the website
yeah,
on
okay.
another screen
So
here.
in general, Splintermate is a botting solution, and no matter how many accounts you have, we most likely can help you. The aspect is the simplicity and the cloud-based solution. Simplicity from a UI point of view, and cloud-based is helping to solve quite a few problems. I would say from our perspective and from the perspective of the user. So you don't need to have it on your computer. You don't need to have your computer on, and so on and so on. The key aspects of Splintermate, that it's let's say two big parts. One is the playing algorithm automation, and the second is the renting capacity. So Splintermate can rent for you, can rent what you want, how you want, and can rent for direct cards and can also rent for collection power. So that means
So
that
you're talking about renting cards for your account, not renting cards from your account to other accounts, right?
renting
Okay.
cards for
To
your
play with.
account in the
What you said.
market. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And the third or whatever the number is aspect is that it lets you see how all of your accounts perform. If you can log in, maybe I could, or maybe your trial has expired. Not sure.
Yeah, no, I believe it has. Let me see if I can.
But you should be able actually to log in. Just if you won't be able to add account.
Yeah, okay, hold on, let me stop sharing here. But please continue, and then let me see if I can log in.
Mm-hmm. So because the summaries the solution provides is quite useful if you are having few accounts or more. That means that you can make decisions according to all of your performance of all of your network, and not just, let's say, look at each account separately and so on. So this can give quite a good indications for the, let's say, managers of these kind of endeavors. Not sure how the word endeavors. Yes. So to talk more in detail, I can share the screen, or if you can share, I'll share.
Sure. Okay. So let me open it up again. So the account that I use before people freak out here, the account that I use is a friend of mine that I'm trying to get onboarded. So I helped them create their account, and they haven't gotten started yet. But that's why it's not going to be an aftersound account. But I was testing it there just because I'm using or I'm playing on the other accounts. So this is the demo account that you had given me.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the dashboard screen. In general, it summarizes how all of your bots are performing. So you can see some very general information from the current worth of DEC and SPS to all of your bots combined win rate, what's the FP generation per past 24 hours, and what is the reward value for the 24 hours. And these are split into, rewards from SPS if you are claiming the airdrops. Bot can do that for you. DC rewards, how many chaos packs you have received, and what kind of cards you have received, and what is the value of those cards. So this is just dashboard in general. So you see everything what is needed to be seen in here, and I guess this is pretty much it.
Okay. Where do you want to go next?
So in overview tab, this is how let's say the using of solution starts. So
let me just say sorry, Roger. We're showing your account here. If you end up watching this, Roger.
Roger, you can ask for a trial. So here is a screen where you add accounts. So at the top right, there's a plus account screen, and here you can add your account. We require posting key, your private posting key, to make to have the auto battler enabled, because otherwise we cannot post the transactions of Hive blockchain.
Yep.
And for the renting, we also need active key, because it is a transaction which needs active key to happen in the Hive blockchain. For the people who are worried about the safety of their keys, our suggestion is always that guys, don't bot on the accounts which holds assets. In general, the best solution, if you have a lot of assets, just delegate the assets to the botting accounts. And when the botting accounts are zero accounts with the assets delegated from your main, so you are not imposing any risk on your assets. Also, the bot has auto transfers, which can be enabled. So auto transferring DC from the account, auto transferring reward cards, and so on. So that means that the account never accumulates insane amount of wealth. These transfers are being done on daily basis, or a few minutes after receiving them. So it's never that the account has something which is, let's say, a loss if something bad happens. We of course take quite a few steps to ensure the security of this, but I guess nothing is secure 100%. So our go-to suggestion is do not bot with accounts which have assets. So from besides that, we also have maybe just a little bit about this screen more. So what you can choose wild or modern ranked battle system. Also just a little bit up, okay, please. Yeah.
Sure. Oh yeah, right here. Sorry.
Yeah, we have also included the starter cards logic, meaning that you can disable the starter cards, so the bot will play without them. And also you can set how often the bot plays. The minimum time is 10 minutes and the maximum is whatever you want, but in general, more than 45 minutes is a waste of ECR, so don't do that. And
More than
yeah,
45 minutes, you said, is a waste of VCR?
yeah, pretty much.
Didn't know that. Okay, so I should be playing every 45 minutes on my main account then.
if you want to be super effective, you should never let your bot account your account to reach 100% TCR. No matter how you spend it, but never 100% TCR. So that, and also a bot can auto claim quests, can focus on daily quest, can auto claim season rewards, and so on. So that's from this menu. And also the renting, but this is in different menus, so you can just enable renting in here, but all of the settings are in different menu. So for this, I guess we are done.
So I'll go back to overview.
So, and if you have several accounts, you have them as lines here. You can also mark all of them and make most of the changes to all of the accounts, and not just per account, So some of the changes are, of course, impossible to do, like updating posting keys. You have to do if you need for some weird reason. But most of the functionalities can be, let's say, forced on all of the accounts, so it's easier to manage. So other menus, balances on the left side, just shows summary of your account from a perspective of what kind of assets it's holding, without the cards. So nothing fancy here. Logs doesn't matter. It shows what kind of errors all of your accounts are generating, if any. But mostly this is for our purposes, so to speak. What's next? So quest. This is what is the current quest status. So it's providing where the bot is playing, what kind of quest it has, how much FP it generated, how many daily chests it has earned in total, and what's the progress of current daily chest. So just a summary of doing quests from a daily perspective. Rewards tab show what are the rewards received by the bot, all of the accounts in the system. So if you would have found something, it will be here. Cards.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
I was only running it for a day. I don't think I don't think I gave it the right cards.
But the win rate is quite good, so you should have had some rewards. Anyway, so summary here is key aspect of this is two parts. One is then you are having more than few accounts. What you care about is, let's say, the sum of rating you have, and is it moving upwards or downwards. That means that, if you make some changes to the renting, if you make some changes to the some of the settings you can put in the accounts, is it causing the sum of ratings to go up or down? So that's one. And the second part is DC balance. So you can check, if you are not out of DC for renting purposes. So
got it. Okay.
Yeah. Settings just shows what kind of settings are enabled or disabled for each account. Again, these are all menus which are more related when I have more than few bots, so I don't know what's going on anymore with every single one of them. So that's for checking purposes and monitoring purposes. So these like all the menus we have gone through.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Transactions is blockchain level transactions. Nothing to worry about here. Most people won't care about this. Season rewards is a summary of what kind of season rewards they are made. This is quite outdated because this was, made for when it was clear that you would get 5, 7, 10, 20 chances
Oh,
at the end of
gotcha. Okay.
season. But now it's like very, very showing a lot of rewards, and just it's a spam of rewards, and you cannot comprehend what's going on. So this will change in the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we going to
Uh,
the rentals thing as well?
yeah. So, and the rentals thing is I would say the second most important thing besides the bad thing is that you can set up rental groups, direct rental groups, uh, meaning that by setting up a rental group, you name it, you say, is it what kind of focus it is based in essence, when it should be activated. So if
Uh-huh.
you get a daily fire request and you set here fire, that means that when the fire request comes, all of the accounts which are linked to this kind of thing will start renting the cards according to what you have put in the, let's say, menu, what to rent. And also the league is here, so maybe you want to rent something for wild, or maybe you want to rent
Mhm.
something for modern.
Where would you put in what cards that you wanted it to rent?
So when you create the rental, you can just create it to let you just name whatever whatever.
Oh, the
uh,
cards. You put the card name here?
no. Just you have to save and then it'll show. So just
Oh,
write
gotcha.
something
Okay.
in here, whatever. Yeah. Okay. So and now the menu for
Oh, okay. And then you can add the
inputting
card.
the cards. Yeah, so you can search by ID, search by name. You also set max offer for the card. So let's say I want to pay up to 2 DC for Furious Chicken or whatever it is. And the bot's logic is that he will scan and find the cheapest rental according to the criteria you provided. Let's say level 3 Furious Chicken, max offer 5. This is the what you describe.
Mm-hmm.
And what bot will do is he will find the cheapest Furious chicken in the market, level 3 cheapest Furious chicken, and if that price is lower than 5, it will rent it.
We'll go for it. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and the final step is linking your account. So you can have multiple structures of bots running if you like to. That means that I don't know, you can have 5 accounts running in bronze, 5 accounts
Mm-hmm.
running in the silver. Their renting schedules are completely different. They are renting a little bit different cards. They are renting different levels and so on. So each of these accounts can act on their own behalf, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So you can
I have a question now because
yeah
some of the changes that they're making that where it won't be focus based or like
yeah
splinter based focuses, and then the 2-day rentals. Has that? I mean, that's obviously aimed at kind of curbing this kind of behavior, right? Whether it's a person that does it or whether it's a bot
yeah
that does it, right? So have you thought through that, or is it
yeah
just people are going to have to pay the 2 days?
yes and no. It really depends on the formula which we will use for the reward calculation, because we have mentioned that we will do that, and also that we will give out daily focus points even if nothing in relation to daily focus is used. Let's say you
Mm-hmm.
have air focus, but you are using complete pure water deck or whatever it is, and then you still will get some daily focus. So this is the key aspect, is what kind of formula we are looking at, because there are break-even point when it's not even worth playing for focus. That's one approach, and just renting the best cards for long periods of time and just playing with them and just ignoring the daily focus at all, just ensuring the highest win rate possible. And then there is a possibility of so that's on one side, and on the other side you can relate to you can rent some really cheap cards, especially in bronze, which you can just it doesn't matter, you can rent for 15
Mm-hmm.
days, it doesn't matter. So you cover most of let's say used cards this way, and you just rent the specific cards for 2 days to ensure that the costlier cards, the more expensive ones,
Okay.
So, but it really everything is at Splinterland's developers' hands, because it all depends on
What?
how will the change formula look like,
Yeah.
because this will decide what's the, let's say, most efficient approach. But to answer your question, does from our perspective, we'll say to our community what is the best approach and what is the most efficient one. And also the bot can facilitate, the renting solution itself can facilitate any terms of renting even now. So I can set and rent for 15 days if necessary.
Yeah.
Of course, the Splinterlands will impose the minimum 2 days, so that
Yeah.
will change a little bit, but this does not change the ROI that much. The renting itself is not what is making or breaking the let's
Fair.
say
Okay.
investment. Hmm?
Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense. And
Okay.
then rent for power is this
Yeah,
the
and
last
rent
one
for
here?
power. It is a solution. We let the people do it through here, but this is in the end is done through peak monsters. So this is the same logic as renting in peak monsters, but in general, if you grant the authority to do it, you can modify uh, one or all of the account bids for power renting. So I want to play in bronze 1, so in modern I need 2,500 power. So if I know that all of my accounts have, like, I don't know, 300 power of delegated cards, so I just set to 220 in there for whatever the market price for CP bid is,
Mm-hmm.
and the solution will help you have the necessary power. Or if you do not reach the necessary power because of, let's say, market price changing for CP rentals, that means that you will be able in most of the screens see that accounts are shown in red. That means that they are not in their designated power levels. So you'll know that, okay, most likely the market price changed. I need to change it to match the current market prices if it's still viable solution. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
So this is how it looks.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I appreciate the walkthrough. That was very helpful. So I will say, and again, this is the first time I've ever kind of dealt with any type of botting service, but the user interface that you have is very clean, very easy to understand, and very efficient to go through. So just want to give some kudos on that. With the potential changes upcoming for like season rentals, and like, are you guys thinking through all of that? Right, all like SPS rewards, season rentals, is the bot. Are you all ready to essentially have all that coded in?
No.
No, okay. I guess
No.
you're still waiting for information, but
Yeah.
it seems as though things are changing at a very rapid pace now, that
Mhm.
it's going to require a lot more time and
My
attention
my
from you
my,
guys.
my colleague, we invited him to this project like 1 month ago, and he was
Mhm.
like, after 2 weeks, is it like always changing? Everything is changing every week. What's going on? Why are we in this? And no, look, this is everything is okay. This is the time
Mhm.
and it changes. But yeah, the speed of change is very rapid. That's for sure. But I guess the framework to make the solutions is there.
Mhm.
Of course, as I said, formulas make some decisions bad and some decisions good. So we have to facilitate that. But in general, since we have the necessary tools, it's just adding just calculating and making the right decision. So it's not like we have to make something extra to facilitate the changes. In general, we
Mhm.
just need to find the best way to help our customers to reach the best results. This is like this. So I would say that we are ready, at least for what I have seen in the town hall meetings and so on. I think we're ready for all of these changes
Mhm.
from a perspective that, okay, we can facilitate them.
Sure.
It will mean, but how good or how bad is the change? It's really hard to tell until all of the details are clear.
No, okay, that's fair. Well, I want to be respectful of your time. I know we're coming up to the wrap up point here. I guess just a final question, and I'll leave it somewhat open ended. But are there things that you're excited about within the Splinterlands game? I know you said you're not a fanboy necessarily of the game, but are there things that are coming that whether you're a fanboy or not, that you are maybe excited about, whether that's from a player standpoint or from an investor or from a
Mhm.
botting service standpoint?
For me, land expansion is looking like something to look at because I see it as a structural change to all
Hmm.
Splinterlands environment. So this seems like these big changes are always interesting to see how it will work out. And I
Hmm.
also think that this land part in crypto, uh, no one made it. How to say good
Yeah.
or meaningful. It was always like something that add on, just extra, taking money from investors while the market is hot, pretty much. So
Yeah.
that seemed like and it was never integral part of the game. So at least that's how I see it, and have not seen a good solution to it. So
Sure.
I'm convinced that Splinterlands can do it in a way that it would be not an addition to the game, but the game itself, just
Sure.
part
Yeah.
of the game. Uh, and I'm really excited to see, how he will solve it and present it, and how we'll be able to, check, not check, play with it, I guess.
Have you considered how that extra step, say if they're going to add two phases to
Mhm.
the battling, how that will affect the botting for you, or is that just another challenge that you're going to face when you get there?
That should be a huge challenge to solve, that's
Hmm.
for sure. But it's interesting, it
Hmm.
just plain and simple. It's interesting to make something which manages to automate a hard process. So I guess again, it all here relies on the details.
Yeah.
Maybe if it's simple two steps, it's easier. If the steps are very intertwined and they can cause some serious effects in other steps and so on, then we are talking about a very heavy load of data needed to facilitate the good decision making. Even
Yeah.
now, Splinterlands is very heavy on the data because there are so many possibilities, especially when you take into account,
Hmm.
two rules plus mana cap, plus splinters on and off. So there is just a mind-boggling amount of possibilities, and
Sure.
then you need to make decisions according to that. There are some very interesting problems you appears before you, and it's very interesting to try to solve them.
Hmm.
Because you cannot brute force your way around it.
Well, exactly, and that's one of the things that makes me so interested in the logic behind a lot of the different botting services for battles, right? Because it's just, I mean, when I look at something, I'm human, so I just think within the capabilities of whatever I'm capable of. But a bot can look historically through and figure out all those things. So how that gets coded in is fascinating to me.
Mhm. Yeah,
But
it's
yeah, as the
it's
game, I
it's
was gonna
not
say,
an easy task.
as the game becomes more complex, I wonder if that will ever reach a point where it's not, it becomes outside the purview of a bot. But at the same time, as humans get better, or as the games get better, the bots get better too. It seems. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
Mhm.
So still a lot of fine tuning to be done in the current stages. So we have, I guess, solved our biggest, not the issue, but biggest obstacle yet is of the scaling. So we have that out of the way. We know that we can facilitate pretty much infinite amount of
Mhm.
accounts. So that is out of the way, and now we are looking at the logic of play, how a decision is made, what kind of, let's say, shortcuts we can make in the decision making, so that we need less data to make better decisions.
Got it. Cool. Well, Jurnon, thank you so much for taking the time. I have a lot of respect for anybody that is trying to build something, especially in a bear market. And what impresses me most about Splinterlands is the fact that there's so many of these different third-party kind of services coming up. So, I wish you the best of
Yeah,
luck and
Visa,
appreciate you taking the time.
this is like baby boomers. They started on the boom market. Now it's bear
Mhm.
market, but now they're finishing the product, so everything is popping up. So yeah, yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
No, no, it's okay. It's okay. Well, I was just saying that I appreciate you taking the time to kind of talk through this today.
Thank you for your time. And yes.
Before we go, where can people first get more information about the
Mhm.
project, and if they want to get in touch with you, I'm assuming Discord might be the best
Yeah, the
area.
Discord is currently the best and the only option to get in touch with us. Splintermate is the channel, so everyone is welcome. We are giving free trials, which last approximately 24 hours, and in that time you can definitely understand how the bot works and if it fits your needs or not. So we just updated our, let's say, not let's say, but we just updated our team making algorithm like 2 days. We are very happy with the current FP generation in there, and we have still what, seven. Just trying to remember how many I've written. Seven more iterations for it
Mhm.
to make it even more smoother and let's say more smarter. Sorry.
Got it.
So yeah, so join Splintermate community. Everyone is welcome. Even the guys who do not like us, come.
Well,
It's no
my my
problem.
my hope is that it's a perfect world. Everybody can get along and figure out a way to live or coexist peacefully. But we'll see how it goes. But like I said, despite everything, I appreciate you coming on and talking through this. This is very enlightening and eye opening for me. So thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.